There is no Christmas without a Christmas cake. Age-old customs and traditions need to be honored, and that's what Christmas is all about. While a Christmas cake requires you soaking the fruits in rum or brandy, either months in advance or sometimes even for a year, it can be quite taxing to ensure that you have it ready in time for Christmas. Now out here, I've got a Christmas cake that takes you bang into Christmas, but without the time-consuming affair of soaking the fruits in advance. You get everything done on the gas, mimicking the effort that it takes to soak year-round, but at the same time have a robust Christmas cake right in time for Christmas. During Christmas, when you have a birthday thrown in as well, all you need to do is get a little experimental with this cake. In this Christmas cake, I'm going to add some strawberries just to create that perfect Christmas come birthday cake on Christmas Eve. To start off, I've got 775 grams of Christmas fruits out here, and I've used at least 8 to 10 varieties of fruits, right from dates to apricots to pecans to hazelnuts to almonds to cashew nuts. Just go as experimental as you want. But do not forget to add some ginger peel and some orange peel into the mix. Raisins and sultanas just add that robusty flavor that's required. With my cast iron nice and hot, we are going to take about 125 grams of salted butter and just get it to melt. As you allow the butter to melt, and when it's half melted, in goes the 775 grams of dry fruits, Christmassy in nature and so required. So just allow everything to get absorbed in. To this you add 250 grams of dark brown muscovado sugar. Just allow it to mix gently, not too much because you want it to come to a boil. The juice of 1 orange. The rind of the orange, and finally 250 grams of strawberries. Now you just allow everything to macerate with each other in the heat. This process mimics the soaking of the fruit that's required well in advance. And this is what makes it a typical Christmas cake. So about 200 ml of dark brown rum. Just ensure that you loosen out the fruit because dates tend to get quite sticky in nature and form a lump in the entire creation. So loosen it out and just allow everything to macerate with each other, and you can bask in the glory that the scents bring into your kitchen. The strawberries, perfect in this entire creation, giving out their tart sweetness, just elevating this old-fashioned Christmas cake. As this comes to a subtle boil, now I want it darker in color, so I'm going to add about 60 ml of this gorgeous molasses treacle just to give it that dark speck of color into the cake. Totally optional, but a Christmas cake always has that dark color that's so required in a old-fashioned one. So allow this to come to a boil and now simmer it for a good 30 minutes so that everything steeps and stews with each other. As you allow the fruits and the strawberries just to simmer and macerate along with the muscovado sugar, the rum, the orange juice and the zest, giving it that robust flavor merging into each other. Now comes the part of getting the flour sifted on the side. So here I've got about 250 grams of refined flour. To that I'm going to add just about a teaspoon of a leavening agent like baking powder. You do not need to add too much because this cake is quite a dense cake. Now comes the spice blends that go into it. So in goes 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, half a teaspoon of some clove powder, and no Christmas cake is ever complete without a dash of nutmeg. So about half a teaspoon of nutmeg powder going in as well. Just allow all this to mix with each other. And all you need to do is switch off the flame. Your fruits have macerated really well for half an hour. You allow this to cool down for about 30 minutes and just get to mixing the two. It's such a simple and easy recipe. As you allow this to cool for a good 30 minutes and it has come together so well, all we're going to do is add 3 eggs lightly whisked into it. Just mix it up. It's such a simple cake that it really comes together well, and you just allow the egg to mix with the entire fruits. And the flour that has been mixed with the spices and the baking powder. So just put it in 2 batches, allow it to mix in well, and your cake is ready to go into the oven. Dividing the flour in 2 batches just allows it to mix well without too many lump formations in. So in goes the next batch of spiced refined flour, and you just bring everything together, mixing perfectly well together. Now the consistency of this cake is very similar to a dense fudge, and the strawberries have macerated really well into the overall mixture. However, at this stage, if you want to style it up further, just take another 200 grams of strawberries, cut them 1/4 and fold it into the cake. But I want this to have the touch of strawberry without the sharp essence that this cake brings. I do not want to go way off the beaten track. I've put this into a 9-inch ring mold spring foam, which is parchment lined, till it's about 3/4 in height, and I've given a good 1 inch of rise, although this cake doesn't rise way too much. Now as you're going to slow bake this cake, I like to line the outside of my spring foam mold with parchment paper as well. It serves as some kind of an insulation just to hold everything together. This goes into a preheated oven at 130 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. Slow and steady, this cake gets done. Now while I have put it at 130 degrees Celsius on the fan mode, if you have the good old-fashioned oven, just use 150 and allow this to bake slow and steady for 2 hours. 2 hours of allowing this gorgeous Christmas plum cake to bake. It's ready, and the crack on top is what tells you that your cake has come out perfectly well. Snip the thread with the outside casing, and we're just going to release out the spring mold so that it cools evenly. Now this Christmas cake can go just by itself or with some marzipan and fondant on top. Don't forget a slight apricot glaze, or just go with some sparkle to bring in the Yuletide spirits. Fresh out of the oven, I like to add a little more rum just to elevate the style. So about 2 tablespoons of rum just going on top. Allow it to go into the nooks and crannies, and you can also create small little holes and allow it to seep in. A Christmas cake is a Christmas cake with loads of rum in it, and you can keep sipping it every week or so till it's Christmas time. This cake is so fragrant and flavorful that it's best to keep it au natural, just with a dazzle that Christmas brings. Some edible silver dust going on top, just to give it that edge of sheen, and you're ready. I hope you enjoyed creating this gorgeous Christmassy creation with me. The flavors come together so well, and nobody can tell the difference that you have not soaked your fruits well in advance. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.